Sometimes transformation strikes you like a lightning bolt and then takes 30 years to actually happen. Let me explain. Most of the things that I like to do, most of the things that I am, have been pretty consistent across my life, with, I realized, one major exception. I did not used to be a dancer. I mean, at all. Not even a little tiny bit. Not a dancer. 2 left feet maybe doesn't even begin to cover it. It wasn't that I didn't want to be a dancer, I just didn't have what it took. I did a ballet class when I was tiny, and I actually cried when I randomly drew the role of Snow White in our little class production because I didn't want people actually looking at me while I danced. But my best friend in high school was a wonderful dancer. She was graceful, and she flew through the air with her long black hair flowing around her. It was beautiful to watch, and I loved to watch her. Martha was killed by a drunk driver the summer after we graduated from high school. But she came back to me in a dream, and in that dream she was dancing. We were dancing together, and we actually lifted up off the floor and into the air, and together we were flying. We were dancing. And I woke up from that dream a couple of weeks after her death, feeling like Martha had given me her gift of dancing. But I didn't know what to do with it. It wasn't like I suddenly could dance. I liked to dance in the living room when nobody was watching, but it never got any further than that. But I always wanted to dance. And when my daughter was 2, and there was no way to actually get exercise with a toddler, my wife pretty much insisted that I join a gym because she said she didn't want to be a single mom when I keeled over from a heart attack. And so I tried an aerobics class as being perhaps less fatally boring than the treadmill. And I managed to get through like the first 20 minutes when I left, beet red and huffing and puffing and about ready to keel over. But I came back, and I stuck with it. And after a year or maybe 2, I actually was able to go right when the instructor said right, and left when the instructor said left, and forward when she said forward, and back when she went back. It was a major accomplishment. And then I got to thinking. By this point, I'd been taking my daughter to tap class for a couple of years, and I always wanted to be a tap dancer. I loved Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers when I was a kid, and it occurred to me that if my daughter could go to tap class, maybe I could go to tap class too. And so at the ripe age of 41, for the first time, I went to tap class, and it was a blast. 7 years later, I'm still at it. So much fun. And then a few years ago, my wife and I got into contra dancing, which is a folk form. It's not anything fancy, it's not performance, but it's something that's become a core part of our lives, the experience of dancing with friends and strangers, of moving to amazing live music, of spinning and twirling. It's part of who we are. It's part of who I am. I am, it turns out, a dancer. Some 30 years later, I can dance. As a contra dancer, I'm really not even half bad. And so I find spinning and whirling down the line, being caught and tossed from person to person in that ecstatic experience of being one with the music and the community and the movement. Not only am I a dancer, I found out how to fly.